Let's ride.
And so many residents are skeptical about the quality of their air, their water, and their land. This despite the EPA giving the all-clear signal to return back to their homes. Our next guests on the show have lived in East Palestine for more than 27 years. They built their home there, their chiropractor business there. I do want to welcome Rick and Tammy Tsai. Thank you both for joining me.
Thank you for having us, Natasha.
And Rick, you were born in East Palestine. Tammy, you've lived there for a long time. How are you both doing? And Rick specifically, have you experienced any health issues?
It's funny. I was born actually the next town adjacent, but we did a few interviews. I was feeling great just as after the same as before the wreck. But I went and filmed it.
5 minutes later.
Fox News contributor Sarah Carter. She was reporting from East Palestine earlier this week, and Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett. Sarah, let's talk to you. Tell us specifically, what did you see and what are you hearing today as the follow-up? I can't believe it's been 2 weeks, and they're out there saying, well, just trust the government, we'll be fine. I mean, that is absurd.
Yeah, it is absurd, Jason. Look, I met wonderful families, residents of East Palestine, Ohio, that I couldn't even imagine being in their shoes. I went out there. I saw homes that were right at ground zero, met this wonderful lady, Shelby, who was actually on Sean's show this week. She took me to her home. Literally, the train carts were in her backyard. Her son was there with us. He's 12 years old. She was saying to me, how can I even trust this soil? Nobody has come to my home to do testing. Nobody has come to my home to speak to me. Nobody from the railroad, from the government. Now that was the same night that they were having a meeting. She said, now we're supposed to trust the government. We're supposed to trust the fact that they're going to come here and do for us what we needed done 2 weeks ago. And I get that because I walked out to the streams with other residents, and another resident named Bill, who is water was from a well in his backyard. And actually the stream that was running through East Palestine that he took me to off of 170 was filled, listen to this, Jason, with dead fish. There were fish dead everywhere, and it was recent. It wasn't like fish that had been there 2 weeks ago. You could tell that these
5 minutes later.
Norfolk Southern is facing numerous lawsuits following that toxic train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. The CEO of the company promising to do right by residents. But the community is growing more frustrated. ABC's Phil Lipoff has the details.
More than 2 weeks after that toxic train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, the company's CEO visited the disaster site for the second time.
I'm here to support the community.
Alan Shaw meeting with local leaders and pledging to do right by the residents who have been impacted, saying in a statement, I shared how deeply sorry I am this happened to their home. We are going to do the right things to help East Palestine recover and thrive again. But frustration is mounting in the community.
I'm 53. I've had 2 headaches in my life, and I feel like I've had one every day since the controlled burn.
Shelby Walker lives within feet of the train tracks and says her family has been dealing with sore throats, eye infections, and headaches over the past 2 weeks.
I will never be comfortable in my home.
Environmental experts say the equipment used to monitor the chemicals may not be providing enough information.
We just don't have the information we need to understand what chemicals may be present. We know it started as vinyl chloride, but as soon as you burn that, all bets are off. You have a lot of chemical byproducts that can happen from a combustion process like that.
Norfolk Southern is facing a class action lawsuit from residents.
The biggest issue is just not feeling like they're getting a straight story as far as what they should or shouldn't do, whether or not it's safe to live in their home and enjoy as they normally would on a daily basis.
The suit alleges the railway company's negligence led to a £1 million plus chemical burn pit and the spread of chemical toxins. Phil Lipoff, ABC News, New York.
This is how legends are born.